Welcome to the smartest way to invest your money. If you've ever felt confused about where to start, you're not alone. Most people have no idea what order to invest in, and this costs them hundreds of thousands of dollars over their lifetime. Today, we're going to walk through the exact step-by-step framework that separates wealthy investors from everyone else. Let's start with the foundation. Before you invest a single dollar, you need an emergency fund. This is non-negotiable. Your emergency fund should cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses, and it should be sitting in a high-yield savings account where you can access it instantly. Think of this as your financial safety net. Without it, you'll be forced to raid your investments when life throws you a curveball, and that's when you lock in losses and derail your long-term wealth building. Life happens. Your car breaks down, you lose your job, a medical bill appears out of nowhere. An emergency fund isn't exciting, but it's absolutely essential. Once your emergency fund is solid, the next step is to maximize your employer retirement match. If your employer offers a 401k match and you're not taking full advantage of it, you're literally leaving free money on the table. This is the easiest money you will ever make. Your employer will match a percentage of what you contribute, usually around 3 to 6%. If you earn $50,000 a year and your employer matches 5%, that's $2,500 in free money every single year. That's over $200,000 over a 40-year career before compound interest even kicks in. Most people skip this step because they think they need to invest in other things first. That's a huge mistake. Free money should always come first. Step 3 is paying off high-interest debt. If you have credit card debt sitting at 18, 19, or 20% interest, that's the enemy of wealth building. The math is brutal. High-interest debt compounds against you every single month. You're not going to outrun that with investment returns. The average stock market return is around 10% annually. If you have credit card debt at 20%, you're losing money in real terms. Pay it off aggressively. Create a plan. Cut expenses where you can. Pick up side work if needed. Get that debt gone. This is your permission to focus entirely on eliminating high-interest debt before you think about investing beyond your employer match. Once high-interest debt is eliminated, Step 4 is building out your tax-advantaged retirement accounts. This is where the real wealth building begins. We're talking about maxing out your 401k, your Roth IRA, and any other tax-advantaged accounts available to you. Because taxes are one of the biggest drains on investment returns, the government will happily take 30, 40, sometimes 50% of your gains if you let them. Tax-advantaged accounts like Roth IRAs and 401ks let your money grow completely tax-free. A Roth IRA lets you contribute up to $7,000 per year, and that money grows tax-free forever. You'll never pay taxes on those gains. That's phenomenal. A 401k lets you contribute $23,500 per year. The power of tax-free compounding is absolutely astronomical. Imagine investing $30,000 per year for 30 years in a tax-advantaged account versus a regular taxable account. The difference is hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's not exaggeration. That's just math. Step 5 is investing in low-cost index funds. Once you've maxed out your retirement accounts, any additional money should go into index funds. These are funds that track entire market indices like the S&P 500. They're diversified, they have incredibly low fees, and they've beaten active managers for decades. The average actively managed fund charges 1% per year in fees. Index funds charge 0.03%. Over 30 years, that difference in fees alone adds up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Warren Buffett recommends index funds. Jack Bogle created index funds. The smartest investors in the world use index funds. They're not sexy, but they work. Buy low-cost index funds, hold them for decades, and you'll build generational wealth. Step 6 is real estate. Now, real estate is a totally different animal from stocks. It requires active management, capital, and you're dealing with illiquid assets. You can't just sell your house tomorrow if you need money. But real estate has unique advantages. You can use leverage. You can get a mortgage and control a $500,000 asset with just $50,000 down. You get tax deductions for the mortgage interest. You get rental income. You get appreciation. If you're in a position to invest in real estate, it should absolutely be part of your portfolio. The key is to buy properties below market value, manage them well, and let them appreciate over time. Real estate has created more millionaires than the stock market. That's a fact. but you have to be smart about it. Don't buy real estate with leverage if you don't have an emergency fund. Don't jump into real estate if you don't have stable income. Real estate is a wealth accelerator, but only if you have the foundation in place. Step 7 is business investment and entrepreneurship. This is where the really serious wealth gets built. Starting or buying into a business is risky, but the potential returns are unlimited. Your stock investments might return 10% per year. A successful business can return 50, 100, or even 500%. But, and this is a huge but, most businesses fail. You need to be smart. You need skills or mentors. You need capital you can afford to lose. You need patience. If you're going to invest in business, educate yourself relentlessly. Read books, find a mentor, study other successful entrepreneurs. Don't jump in blindly. But if you have the foundation in place and you have the stomach for it, business is where generational wealth really happens. Now let's talk about what to avoid. Countless studies show that trying to pick the perfect entry and exit points destroys returns. The best time to invest is now. The second best time is next month. The worst thing you can do is wait for the perfect moment and then jump in with all your money right before a crash. Dollar cost averaging, which means investing the same amount every month, is proven to outperform lump sum investing and market timing. Invest consistently. Invest automatically. Set it and forget it. Avoid high-fee investments. Whether it's actively managed funds, financial advisors who charge percentages of assets under management, or cryptocurrency schemes that promise to trickle your money, high-fee investments destroy wealth. You're paying for the privilege of underperforming. Think about this. If you're paying 2% in fees and you're getting 8% returns, you're taking home 6%. That's a huge portion of your gains going to fees. Over 30 years, a 2% fee difference means you'll have about 40% less money. Would you pay a professional 2% to give you less money than index funds? Of course not. Don't chase hot stocks or tips from people online. The internet is full of financial advice from people trying to sell you something. Someone on social media isn't going to give you the keys to instant wealth. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. This includes penny stocks, microcaps, cryptocurrencies, options trading, and forex. These are gambling, not investing. 99% of people who try these things lose money. The 1% who make money did so primarily through luck, not skill. Don't be the person who loses their rent money trying to get rich quick. Avoid lifestyle creep. This is one of the biggest obstacles to building wealth. When you get a raise, don't immediately upgrade your lifestyle. Every dollar that goes to higher rent, a fancier car, or more expensive restaurants is a dollar you can't invest. Here's the math. If you get a $10,000 raise and you immediately spend it, you've built zero wealth. If you invest 50% of that raise and live on the other 50% increase, you're building serious wealth. Over a 30-year career, the difference between someone who invests their raises and someone who spends them is multiple millions of dollars. Lifestyle creep is invisible, but it's devastating. Fight it. Let's put this all together into a real-world example. Sarah is 25 years old. She makes $50,000 per year. Here's her investment order. First, she builds a 6-month emergency fund. That takes her about 2 years. In the meantime, she's investing 10% of her income into her employer's 401k to get the full match. That's $3,000 per year in free money from her employer. At 30 years old, she has an emergency fund of $18,000, and her 401k has grown to around $45,000. She has no credit card debt because she paid it off aggressively. Now she maxes out her 401k at $23,500 per year. She also opens a Roth IRA and contributes $7,000 per year. Every year, she's investing $30,500 in tax-advantaged accounts. Her retirement accounts have grown to around $2.1 million. That's without any real estate, without any business, just tax-advantaged investing in index funds. By 60, she has over $5 million. By 70, if she keeps investing, she has over $12 million. That's the power of following the smart order. Now let's add real estate to Sarah's story. At 35, after building wealth through her retirement accounts, she buys a rental property. She puts down $50,000 from her savings and gets a mortgage for $450,000. She charges $1,500 per month in rent, which covers the mortgage and expenses with a little left over. Over the next 30 years, that property appreciates at 3% annually. In 30 years, it's worth over $1.2 million. She's paid down the mortgage to nearly zero. She's collected hundreds of thousands in rent. Real estate just accelerated her wealth building dramatically. By 70, instead of 12 million, she has over 20 million. Now we need to be realistic. Most people won't achieve Sarah's results because most people don't follow the smart order. They skip the emergency fund and get wiped out by life. They don't take their employer match and give away free money. They carry high-interest debt for years. They pay high fees on investments. They try to time the market and jump in right before crashes. They chase hot stocks and lose money. They increase their lifestyle every time they get a raise. Small decisions compound into massive wealth gaps. Here's what you need to do starting today. First, calculate your 3 to 6 months of expenses. Start saving toward your emergency fund. Second, check if your employer offers a retirement match. If they do, contribute enough to get the full match. Third, list all your debts. If you have high-interest debt, create a plan to eliminate it. Fourth, once the first 3 are done, open a Roth IRA and start contributing. Fifth, consider index funds for any money beyond your retirement accounts. Sixth, as your income grows, resist lifestyle creep. Invest that new money instead of spending it. Seventh, research real estate if it interests you. Eighth, explore starting or buying a business if you have the skills and capital. The smartest investors in the world follow this order because it's been proven to work. It's not glamorous, it's not flashy, you won't get rich quick, but you will become wealthy. You will have financial security, you will have options, you will have freedom, and that's worth far more than any quick fix. The path to wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. It requires patience, discipline, and following a proven system. You now have that system. The question is whether you'll actually use it. Most people won't. Most people will get distracted by get-rich-quick schemes or paralyzed by fear. But you're different. You're here because you want to be smart about your money. So start today. Take the first step. Build that emergency fund. Claim your employer match. Pay off your debt. Invest in your future.